In this video, we're going to dive into a question that I get asked a lot, and it's one that's super thoughtful and honestly really important, especially for anyone learning Spanish and trying to use it authentically in everyday life. So here's a scenario. You're in the US or wherever and you've been learning Spanish. You go to areas where Spanish is spoken regularly, but when you try to use it, people switch straight to English and you're left wondering, is it disrespectful for me to speak Spanish with bilingual people when they clearly speak English better than I speak Spanish? Let's talk about that. Oh, and by the way, if you're ready to kickstart your Spanish journey, check out my beginner's guide to getting started in Spanish and speaking with confidence. You can download it for free by following the link in the description to this video. So first of all, if this has happened to you, you're not alone. It happens to me all the time, even as a fluent Spanish speaker. Just because I'm white and I have blue eyes, people assume I don't speak Spanish. I'll walk into a panaderia and I'll say, "Hola, buenos días," and boom, "Hi, what can I get for you?" It's not about rudeness. Most of the time, bilingual speakers switch to English because they want to be helpful. Or maybe they've had an awkward experience or even an unpleasant experience where they didn't switch and they're just used to doing it. It's like a social reflex. But here's what's important. That doesn't mean that they're unwilling to speak Spanish with you. You just need to signal why you're learning Spanish and give them a chance to opt in. So for example, you could say something like, "¿Te importa si practico mi español contigo? Todavía estoy aprendiendo." And this sentence does three things. It shows that you're not assuming that they owe you their language. It makes it clear that you're learning, and it gives them a respectful way to say yes or no. And in my experience, most people say yes and even smile when they do. Now let's talk about that little gremlin voice that whispers, "But I feel like a fraud, like I'm just using people for free language practice." Well, let me say this with love. That voice is lying to you. You're not a fraud, you're a language learner, and there's a huge difference between using someone and connecting with someone. Every year I take a group of students to Malaga in Spain. And I remember one morning I was sitting in a cafe, I had some time to myself, and I ordered a café con leche at a local cafe, and the waiter lit up and asked where I was from and how long I'd been learning Spanish, and we ended up having a lovely, simple conversation. And he even gently corrected a verb that I got wrong. I mean, no judgment, just kindness and connection. That moment, it wasn't about free practice. It was about showing respect for his language and his culture. So you're not taking advantage when you approach people, when you do it with sincerity, humility and curiosity. So how can you find respectful ways to practice Spanish if you can't travel abroad? Well, here are a few ideas. You could frequent local Latino-owned businesses, things like panaderias, mercados, restaurantes. Bring your Spanish phrase book and try ordering in Spanish. And tip well and show gratitude. You could join a Spanish conversation group and check the libraries or the community centres near you, or even sites like Meetup. And these are full of people who want to practice too. You could also try volunteering with organisations that serve Spanish-speaking communities. And you could do things like translating forms, helping at events, or just chatting with people while you're doing something helpful. You could also use Spanish in your daily routine. So talk to yourself in Spanish while you're cooking, label the things in your house, or leave sticky notes with phrases around your kitchen. All these habits build confidence. You can start with greetings, so even just "buenos días," "cómo está usted," "gracias" can start a conversation. So if they switch to English, you can say, "Estoy aprendiendo español y quiero practicar si está bien." And little by little, you'll find that your confidence grows and your conversations do too. So, is it disrespectful to speak Spanish to bilingual people? Not if you're doing it respectfully. In fact, showing up with humility and a genuine desire to connect is one of the most beautiful things about language learning. So don't let fear or your inner imposter stop you. Start small, be kind, keep going. And don't forget to download my Spanish starter kit for free by following the link in the description of this video. So if this helped you, give it a thumbs up. And if you want more practical Spanish tips with real life examples, make sure you hit subscribe. And hey, drop a comment below. Have you ever had someone switch to English on you mid-conversation? How did it go? Hasta la próxima y siga practicando. Adiós.